Here it is, real talk number 2. I apologize for the delay, but I'm here and I'm going to stay for good because as of next week, there is so much coming and I'm going to share that with all of you. And if I spoke more languages, I promise I would do one in all of them, but my Spanish is not that good. But I might get better. But what I want to talk to you guys about today was something that had a lot of feedback from a lot of people last week, and it was a story in Portuguese where I caught my cousin off guard while she was cooking, and she started crying, and I just felt this urge to film it because I didn't know where it was going, but I knew it was going to go somewhere, and it was going to go somewhere amazing, and it did. I had so just to give you kind of a concept and a backtrack and explain to you what happened. My Portuguese is very limited. I speak very fluently. I actually speak from what I hear from other people very well. But I was raised in the United States. I came here when I was really really young. So I have no contact. I didn't have a lot of contact with other Brazilian people. I did in my teenage years attend a church that had a huge Brazilian community. But my Portuguese, in sense of writing grammatically correct, lacks a lot of confidence. So she is absolutely brilliant. Like her writing skills is top notch, and Portuguese is not an easy language. So I write everything. I produce all my content. I reproduce all written material is done by me. Um, and I give it to her to edit, like grammatical things, that in my head it translates in a certain way, but in Portuguese it might not make so much sense. So she checks it out and then I post it for my Portuguese followers and in English for my American followers. And I was posting a video of my transformation on May 1st. And I wrote something there that really resonated in her, which was when I said there was that point in my life when I did that video, I didn't have dreams. I knew I wanted them, but I didn't even know what I wanted to dream about because I was at such a deep, deep, dark place that I dug myself into. And I knew there was more to life than feeling that way. I was only 25 and it wasn't all the weight. And I want to talk to you guys about that as well. The weight was the symptom, okay? The root of the problem wasn't the weight. The weight was the symptom of a consequence of actions that I took because of my unhappiness. But to a certain point, I didn't even know I was unhappy because I was living in the cycle that a lot of people find themselves in, which is waking up, going to work, going back home, going to sleep, waking up, going to work, going back home, going to sleep. And their ideal dream is to go on a vacation for 7 days. And there's more to that in life than dreaming of a vacation once a year for 7 days. And at that point I didn't even dream of that because I just felt so horrible about myself that I didn't even want to dream of a vacation. I didn't know where to begin. I was so lost. And it kind of hit her. And it wasn't about her weight. It was about where she finds herself in life. And then she goes, that sentence you wrote that you didn't even know that what your dreams were anymore, and that you didn't even dream anymore, kind of hit me, and it hit me hard. And then she turned around and she started cooking her eggs, and you can hear her voice change. She's like, I know I'm just gonna cry, but I just have to say this. And when she said that, I picked up my phone and I started recording. And she went on to say that she went to the chiropractor because she's been training a lot. She's been doing awesome. And then she just pulled her neck and then she got a little stiff, and I told her, hey, go to the chiropractor. Let's get that taken care of. She went to the chiropractor. The chiropractor asked her a few questions, and then they were just talking, and the chiropractor's like, so why are you here? What is it that you want to do in the United States? And she said that question really took her off guard because she's like, okay, I'm here to study. I want to learn English, but then what's my next step? And that kind of hit her really hard because she goes, I'm 30 and I don't know what I want to do with my life. And now it's too late. And then she just crumbled. And when she said that, that hit me hard. The whole post, the whole content I sent her to read and correct had to do with my transformation. And it wasn't only my weight loss transformation. And I want to talk to you about that too. So this video might get a little too long. The whole transformation started with weight, right? And I told her, I said, no, 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 you're reading this all wrong. It's not too late. It's just beginning. And let me tell you why it's only beginning. Because I knew that my first step was losing the weight. And that was a real eye opener for what God had in store for me. And so I think I had to go through that transition in my life to find myself unhappy in the job that I was in. Therefore, I was eating to console myself because I didn't realize that that wasn't my dream. That wasn't my purpose in life. So the weight was a wake up call to like, you have to change. You need to shift your mindset and you have to go find what it is that you want. But I didn't think in that manner. I just thought like, I need to lose this weight. I need to be healthy, which is valid, right? Because I was 300 pounds. As the weight came off, I started to dream about things. And then it was small goals, like the Spartan race, like the figure competition, and all that came with, an audience of people following me. And here I am. I find myself with a platform. At the time, I had like 140,000. I lost a lot of followers because I went MIA for a certain amount of time, but I'll get to that in a minute. I built this platform and I'm like, okay, now I have to do something with all this experience and help these people. And I started working with someone who is absolutely amazing in creating ideas into actual plans, actual organizations, actual websites, or actual material things. She brings your dreams into life. Um, I decided to quit my job. I was 28 years old. I just knew that that was what I needed to do. I had this strong, impulsive feeling in me that that was not my place and that I needed to do something with my life. I didn't know what it was, but that was not my place. She coached me, but she coached me while she was building my website in order for me to create the service I have today. But I didn't feel the confidence to serve anyone, to work with anyone 4 years ago because who am I? Okay, I lost all this weight. That's great. But I'm not certified in this. Like, what knowledge do I have to guide people? I know what I've done for myself. I know the journey and I know the pain, but I don't have the science behind it. While she coached me, it hit me like a rock. Like, now you have to go back to school. I was 28. You have to go back to school from the beginning and you have to start at the bottom. And you need to make this a priority. It's like I felt it clear as day that that's what I needed to do. It was obvious. It was God talking to me. I ended my services with her. She was amazing. She has no idea how God used her to talk to me. She didn't even know. I said, through all this coaching and all this creating, I know what I have to do. I need to pause this. I need to put my social media on hold and I need to go back to school. And I need to start from zero because my experience, my journey is not enough to serve other people. I enrolled in school and I became a double major, nutrition and psychology. And next year I graduate. It's been 4 years. It's amazing. And I'm not done there. It's the whole doctorate that I am going to accomplish and finish. Amen. And my area of specialty is compulsive eating disorders and emotional eating. But when I went back to school, guys, I was 29. I was sitting beside 19 and 18-year-olds who felt obligated to be there and forced by their parents and hated every moment of it. And I'm sitting there going, thank you, Jesus, for the opportunity of letting me go back to school. And a part of me was ashamed. Like, what are you doing here? You're too old for this. But another part of me was like, no, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And there was a conflict inside my brain. But let me tell you, if I went to college right after high school, I probably wouldn't have chosen this path. I never thought about psychology and nutrition, especially putting it in one formula, shaking it up and working with it together side by side. And what I told her was, when she was crying, was like, it takes time. It takes time for you to find out what it is that you want to do. It takes time for you to realize who you are and what you like. It takes experience and it takes many, many times failing and hitting your face on the ground to realize this is not the right path for me, even though I want to insist in this, but this is not, even though I'm good at this, it doesn't mean this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And then there was the whole question about, but I don't know what my calling is. And let me tell you, for years, I'm very open about my faith and it's not something I'm ashamed of and never will be. For years, I prayed asking God, what is my calling? because I always found myself to be very antisocial. I don't like to talk to people. Odd, right? Building a platform like this. And I didn't know what I want to do. Like, I wasn't good in science, I wasn't good in numbers, and found myself working in accounting for 11 years. And now here I'm back in school doing chemistry and doing statistics. And I'm sitting there going, God, you can't, like, you really do amaze me for the knowledge and the strength and the power that you give when the person is seeking you to rely on you. Because let me tell you, just thinking about numbers gives me anxiety, and God has led me to work with the two most difficult areas that I wouldn't have never chosen. But if I didn't experience all I've experienced till today, because now I'm going to be 33 next month, um, I could never do what I'm doing, what I've created, and what I am still in the making and creating, the process that I am creating something that I'm also going to share with you guys. It's amazing. Another video for another day. I could I could never do what I'm doing today without having all that experience, even though there were a lot of negative experience. There were a lot of crying. There was a lot of suffering. To find myself obese, to realize that I needed to do something about my health, after achieving an amazing loss of 150 pounds, saying, okay, let's create something to help people that are going through what I went through, to then realizing, who are you? What are your credentials to do this? Why do you think people are going to listen to you? Based on your experience, there's a lot of people that lose a lot of weight. That doesn't mean a lot of things. Realizing I have to go back to school, quitting a very secure, high paying job that I was in a position for 11 years, creating a huge amount of debt, going back to school, and absolutely loving the challenges that I am faced with every day. Found my calling to work with women that struggle with emotional eating, with compulsive eating disorder. They're two very different things, and I talk about that a lot in my program, in order to give people actual tools and actual experience, and put together the science with the actual knowledge of actually having walked in their shoes and helping them take control over the situation and getting them back into shape and being healthy and feeling loved again. It is just something that I never thought I would be doing. And my message to her was, I'm finding myself at 33 just starting, where some of my professors are probably 33. You know, I have a brilliant, amazing young professors at 35, 36, 38. And here I am going to finish my PhD at around 37, 38 years old. And while these people already have made a name for themselves, but the problem is, we're so focused on what society has timed out for us. You should be married at this time. You should have a college degree by this time. You should have a successful career by this time. And your IRA has to have 2.5 million by the, like, no. It's great to have plans. It's great to have a timeline. But don't feel like just because you don't fit in that box, that you don't fit into that structure that society created for you, that you are doing something wrong, that you're in the wrong path. No. Your timing is your timing, and only God is going to tell you when your timing is. The issue with us not understanding what our purpose is because there's way too much noise around us. We are so we have such a loss of focus with social media, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, text messages, YouTube, and Snapchat, or whatever else is out there that I am not aware of anymore because I'm not up to date on that. But take some time and just sit in silence. And it's what I told my cousin. I said, a lot of my prayers, they don't come with words. I just sit in my room, or I sit in the office, or I sit in the car, and sometimes even in the bathroom, in silence. And my heart speaks out to God saying, I'm here and I will stay here for as long as you need me to stay here. But I need to hear you, and I need direction, and I need you to point me in the right way and send me the right people. And let me tell you, God speaks clear as day. The problem is that we're no longer listening. It's not that God's not speaking. It's because we are too busy not listening. So take some time, distance yourself from all distractions, and sit in silence and listen, because the desire of what it is that you're supposed to do will grow in your heart. Ideas will come in your brain, and he will speak to you clearly, and you will know it's him, and you will know that is the path that you need to take. More videos coming soon. If you liked the message or you didn't like the message, or if you have a comment, you have a question, I know it's cheesy to say that, but write it below. I am checking. I am going to reach out to everyone that reaches out to me, because if I feel like, I think this way, if you're going to take the time to write me, to ask me something, to actually interact with me, I appreciate that, and I'm going to take the time to respond and write you back. And I appreciate all of you, and I'll be praying for all of you always, okay? I love you guys.